What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Nick Sand if you don't already know me, and today we're back down here at Pizzey Skate Park because I am going to teach you how to do the infamous backflip on a scooter. I've done this video in the past, so I'm going to do a little bit of an updated version of it, try and give you some more pointers on it and just go a little bit more in depth on the backflip and how to actually do it and what to do when you're doing the backflip. So if you do end up enjoying, make sure you leave a like and let's get straight into the tutorial with the first step. Alright, a quick note before we start this tutorial: if you haven't done a backflip to a foam pit or a resi or anything like that, I'd highly advise going to do that first, because throwing it straight to concrete is a very dangerous thing to do. Some people have done it and it's worked, some people haven't, and this is the outcome.
Oh my god! Jesus Christ!
So yeah, make sure you go and try it to a foam pit first or a resi, and then come to the skate park and try it, and make sure you have your helmet on, have your knee pads on if you want them, have your bum pads on if you want them. If you need any of that stuff, www.gameprotection.com.au is where you go. But yeah, let's get straight into step number one. Alright, so step number one, guys, is obviously finding the right ramp for the backflip. You don't want to be trying your first ever backflip on a little 2-foot quarter because it's not really going to end well, and you don't want to be trying it on like a 14-foot because also that probably won't end well either. So I'm going to be doing it on this 4-foot just here. It has good transition, a nice steep takeoff, and the coping doesn't stick out too much. If you have a coping that sticks out too much, it's going to make the backflip uncomfortable to perform. And if it doesn't have any coping at all, you're going to have to pull harder to actually pull the backflip around. So this coping is good for doing the backflip on, and that is the ramp I'm going to be doing on. So find a good quarter in which you can perform the backflip on. Alright, so step number two for performing the backflip, we're going to be talking about speed. Speed is very important because if you have too little speed, you won't actually make it up the ramp to even try the backflip. Or if you do, you're going to be going too low, in which then you have to try and flip really fast and it can end really badly. If you go too fast, on the other hand, you won't know how fast to spin the backflip and you'll be just shooting to the moon and back, and that's not really a good thing. So you want to find a good speed. I'll show you what too slow looks like right now. That's too slow. Don't do that. You'll fall back in the ramp. And now this is too fast. And now this is just right, like the Three Little Bears. Alright, so step number three is your approach to the flip. So in step number one, we covered finding the right size of the ramp. Step number two, we covered the speed in which you need to be hitting your flip at. Now step number 3, 4, and 5 is going to be, step number 3 is the approach. Step number 4 is what you do in the middle of the flip. Step number 5 is how to land the flip. So now we're on to the flipping part. So these 3 steps aren't really going to make sense by themselves because you can't really practice them. But once you combine these 3 steps, you'll be able to practice it as a flip. So step number 3 is your approach. So you want to come at the ramp that you've chosen at the perfect amount of speed that you can get consistently, and as you come up, you don't want to be pulling for a backflip 3/4 of the way up the ramp. That is bad. That is what Riley Lancaster used to do, the one filmed by the camera, and his flips are usually really low and really scary. So you want to be pulling when your front wheel is basically hitting the coping. That is the perfect place to pull, because as you take off, your front wheel will hit it, back wheel will hit, and that will send you up into the air, and which is perfect for a flip because you have more time to get the flip around. You won't have to flip as fast. You have to focus on the different components and actually land your flip easier. So, recap. Come to the ramp with a good amount of speed, pulling not 3/4 of the ramp. You're pulling right next to the top where the coping is. Front wheel should just hit it. Shouldn't be like basically jumping out then trying to flip. Should be just hitting your front wheel, then flicking off your back, and that's what sends you up into the air. And then basically move on to step number 2, which, what do you do when you're in the air doing the actual backflip? Like, that's important. Alright, we're on top of the 6 foot now. I'm going to teach you what you should be doing in your backflip. You should not be doing a backflip like this.
Oh yes!
Because if you lay out in a backflip, it is going to cause complications in the future when you go for flares, flip drops. The only trick it will basically benefit you on is 5 flares, because you have to pencil out in a 5 flare. But you shouldn't be laying out your backflips because it's just harder to learn other tricks, and it's a lot harder to learn how to tuck later than it is to just automatically just tuck when you're learning flips. So tucking in your flips is very important. One way you can practice this is by just riding up the ramp, jumping out and tucking into like a little ball like this. So if you practice that, basically what will happen is your body will get used to tucking, so when you go for the flip, you'll automatically just want to tuck. So if you do that, you'll be able to tuck better, and trust me, tucking in your flips is a lot better because you can then control the speed in which you flip. If you're tucking and you need to slow down, you can open up. If you're opening up and you need to spin quicker, you can close in and tuck into a ball. So you can alter the change in your flip speed mid-flip. So that's why you should be tucking in your flips. Laying out, the only real thing you can do is tuck in, which is hard when you've only learned how to lay out, and that's just going to increase your flip speed and you're going to do quad flip. So tucking, very important. As you saw in the clip I just showed you of me jumping out of the ramp and doing that, practice that over and over and over again. That's what I did. Even when you go to a different skate park, once you learn flips, go to the ramp, practice doing some tucks. It is the best thing for you, and it will help you dramatically because then you'll be able to control the speed of your flip. So now we move on to step number 3, which is what happens when you actually get the flip around and you need to actually land, because landing is also a pretty crucial part, because you don't want to just not land a flip, because then it's not cool and you don't get the ladies. Alrighty, step number 5, I believe we're on, is actually what you should do when the flip's coming around and you got to land, because that is very important also. So you pulled off, you've taken off at the right place, you've tucked in, everything's gone to plan. Now you're like, what do I do when I need to land a flip? I got you covered. So you are going to be opening your eyes. You don't want to close your eyes on the flips. That's what Jackery Dowling does, and he's just a scary person. Don't close your eyes, because that doesn't work. What you want to be doing, have your eyes open, try and see where you are on the flip. If you can see where you are, it makes it 100 times easier to land your flip, because then you can, when you're flipping, when you get around to the actual seeing the surface of the ramp again, that's when you know when you've made it around. So then you can open up and you can spot your landing. That is crucial in the flip. So basically what I was saying in the previous step, how you can control your flip, when you're spotting your landing, it helps, because if you spot your landing and you know that you're not rotating enough, tuck it even harder and tuck into a ball tighter, speed up your flip. If you see the landing is still way up, you can open up and then you can slow down your rotation so you can land one foot or you can land the flip. So like I said, flip with your eyes open. Try and see where you are on the flip. It's going to be hard at first for the first few ones. See where you are, and then once you spot your landing, open up. Your body is amazing at this. Your body will know when you're upright, so it'll probably automatically open up for you. But after a while, once you get used to the flips, you actually start to see it, and by opening it up and knowing where you are on your flip, it just helps dramatically, because when you go to flip to different things, you just automatically know where you are. So open your eyes, spot your landing, and once you spot your landing, open up. And when you land, you don't want to land straight-legged, stiff body and just try and hustle it out. Land smooth and like bend your knees. Knees are like suspension on a mountain bike or a car or a dirt bike. Suspension basically softens your landing. If you land nice hard knees, it's going to be painful. So you want to be landing nice and soft, soaking up that impact. Soak up the impact as much as you can, and it'll make your flip a lot smoother and look a lot better. Because if you land just like once, first of all, you're going to damage your elbows, you're going to damage your knees, and it's just going to look really, really stingy. So bend your knees, get that suspension working, and your flips will look way better. So now you know all 3 components of the flip. That was 6, but 3 and 3, combine them together, we do the flip. I'm going to show you a couple of flips, put some in slow-mo on the GoPro, so you can see step by step what I mean. There will be text on the screen so you can see. Let's do it, and hope you enjoy, and hopefully you learn flips. Woo! Alright, a little bonus tip now is I'm going to quickly teach you how to flip up banks. It's going to be like a minute long. But basically banks are a lot different from quarters because you don't actually have the coping to pop you around. Some banks do, which will be a good advantage. This bank doesn't. So if you want to flip up a bank and you don't have the coping, you have to rely a lot on your legs to jump up. That is your source of height, is your legs, and a little bit from the flick of the bank. That's about it, because the bank's a lot mellower than a quarter. So when you come up, you want to be bending your knees a little bit more. And when you go for the flip, you don't want to just be pulling straight back like you do on a quarter. You want to be jumping and pulling back. So it's like one single, like in one motion. So you want to bend, jump, and pull back. Try and get that vertical height, so then you don't have to worry about trying to flip really quick. Riley struggles with this a lot, so it's going to take time. Practice is key. I'm using Riley as my example a lot in this video because his flips do need a lot of work. But yeah, flipping on big banks and stuff, he's looking at me weird now. But flipping on big banks is a very hard thing to do, or any bank, like in general. So you want to make sure you have your flips dialed, like I mean perfect. You can get them on smaller quarters, you can get them on bigger quarters, you can get them anywhere you want. And then you can go to a bank and you just got to make sure you jump and pull a little bit harder. So let me show you a flip of a big bank and then let's do the actual video. Alrighty, as you can see, I really pull off. You need that because otherwise if you don't pull off, you're going to under rotate and it's going to end badly. But that is for another time, once you learn flips a lot better. If you did end up enjoying this video and learning something about the flip, whether that be how to perform the flip, the run up to the flip, or something that you're doing wrong, leave a like on the video, go down and subscribe to my channel, comment down below if you want to see any other tutorials, whether that be a flip combo, or if you want to see, I don't know, whatever. Whether that be a buttercup or like a bra whip. I've already done buttercups and bras, so go have a look at those. And as always guys, peace out. See you guys in the next video. Woo.